So, hello, and welcome back to another Mining for Cheese gaming episode. Today, we are checking out cars on BeamNG. One car from every decade, from 1900 to 2023. Off with here is the 1900s, and as you can see, this is the very first car to be made. And there you can see two headlights, pram wheels or bicycle wheels for the tyres, a gear stick, seats, leather, couch, a boot or trunk, but yeah, not very much space at all. As I would imagine, it'll be pretty slow as it's an older car, so let's give it a spin and just see how fast it can get up to. So this was the first invention of cars in Germany by Mercedes, and as you can see it can get up to 31 miles an hour, but overall a pretty rubbish car. So let's move on to the next decade. 1910s, as you can see, a two-cylinder engine there, and a grille at the front with same two headlights. Better and improved tyres now made out of metal and rubber. A side bar for people to get on and off and to protect the tyres. Two leather seats again there, a spare tyre, a trunk at the back, a windshield, dials to read, and a steering wheel. So overall, and some brake lights. So overall, a big improvement from the 1900s, as it should be. But how fast can it go? It's got relatively about the same acceleration, but look at that speed on it. It's going much faster. Above 50. You can see the car is starting to shake, but 54 miles an hour in a car from 1910s, it's pretty good. And yeah, little drift there, but as you can see, not very reliable, and still pretty slow compared to modern day cars. I think this is a Bentley or something, but we will be on to the next decade. And we're here in the next decade, which is the 1920s, and here we have a green Citroen. This decade is when Ford started to mass produce their cars and get a lot of money from it. But as you can see here, this Citroen is a big improvement from the 1910s. Still those two same headlights, grille, number plates now, side guards to protect the tyres. The tyres look like a downgrade from the 1910s, which is surprising. We got a roof now, still the same trunk and spare tyre on the back. The interior, we have 6 seats in that. Doors now, cooling on the side, and a steering wheel, and some more dials to read the time in it. But let's just see how fast this can go. It has more than 2 gears, which is surprising for a car of this age. But round this roundabout we go. Can't get it up to full speed yet, but we will be able to get it up to full speed round here. So let's push it and test how fast this thing can go. It looks like it can get, we can test it down this street, but it looks like it can get pretty fast. So here is the speed test for it. This car from the 1920s, it's a green Citroen, came out in the 1920s sometime, and we're just going to give it a test on speed now. Up to 40 miles an hour already, probably be around the same speed as the 1910s car, maybe a little bit faster. Yeah, be a little bit faster than the 1910s car. The 1910s car went at 52, this one can get up to 55 miles an hour. It's got some decent brakes on it as well, but still, we would be ram wide. This car, still good decade, cars mass produced, but it takes us on to the 30s. For the 1930s, we have another Citroen, which was obviously a very popular car at that time. But the 1930s, most cars look like this. We have the leather top again, 2 front headlights, nice grille, the tyre caps, tyres have improved again, a nice big trunk at the back, tow hook, number plate, backlights and dials and steering wheel in the front, where there's only 2 seats in this one. So let's give it a spin and see really how fast the 30s cars were. 4 brake lights at the back. Yeah, but this Citroen, obviously a very popular car company at this time. Let's give it a spin and just see how fast it can go. Cannot go as fast as the other cars that we have seen. It can only get up to 43 miles an hour and struggles to get uphill. So we won't be able to get uphill with the 30s car. So let's switch over to the 40s. So the next decade now is the 40s, where they needed good strong cars for the war. Inside we've got loads of seats. It looks like a pretty nice house in there. Spare tyres, 6 tyres for extra traction. Doors at the back, rail guards to protect it, and just a pretty nice transport truck here. Just a generic car, but as we've always done, let's test it by seeing how fast it can go. So it can get up to about 50 miles an hour. Doesn't need to go that fast as it's a very heavy vehicle. It was used in the war, very heavy, and probably not used for speed, but used for getting people to war and hopefully back again. But now we're on to the 1950s, where cars started to improve. Into the 1950s we go, and we have a Mercedes here, probably the first decade where they started building cars purely for speed. So this nice Mercedes, pretty streamlined, very nice tyres, big engine in the back, steering wheel, and side guard to the tyres, but a lot more smaller. Obviously that huge logo and front grille on the front. And let's give it a speed test. The 50s was just after the war, so a lot of more modern technology was invented around that time. So they probably made the cars better and the cars faster. Only a 1-seater for one driver. It's a Formula 1 car from that time, and it can get up to about 90 miles an hour. Little brief touch with the barriers there. Very uncontrollable and hard to manoeuvre. So that brings us on to the 1960s. This is the Aston Martin DB5 from the 1960s. Has those nice tyres there, inside some nice leather seats and nice steering wheel. First car with windscreen wipers and a radio in it. Nice bonnet at the front, nice logo, nice number plate, nice front grille. Overall just a pretty nice Aston Martin. A lot of trunk space at the back and an exhaust. Let's give this car and see what it's got. So overall it is a pretty fast car. We can probably get up as fast as the Mercedes, and it'd be pretty good for drifting if that's what you're using it for. But most of the time it's just a nice luxury car. But it's good to take down some roads. So overall, a very good decade for cars, but brings us on to the 70s. Now into the 80s, we're on to another famous British car company in Lotus, the Lotus Esprit here, the exact one from James Bond, a very good mod on BeamNG. But anyway, this is the 1980s now. You can see very big improvement in the tyres, engine in the back of the car, glossed out windows so you can't see what's inside, and a nice bonnet, and this car can drive underwater as well. Looks like a green interior, but not really much else on this car. Nice shape as well, and should be hopefully pretty fast for the 1980s. So, for the 1970s, I meant. So let's give this a spin. Yeah, it does go pretty fast. Pretty hard car to destroy as well. Probably withstand quite a lot in this game. We're taking it onto the highway to give it a bit more of a speed test, this one here. So here we go then, and let's see the actual speed of this car. Come compared to stuff. So yeah, most people probably saw this car from the James Bond movies, but it's pretty fast and a very nice car in real life as well. Yeah, can easily get over 100 miles an hour, and we'll bring it to a stop here. Very good handling as well for the 70s cars. And that brings us on to the 80s. Now into the 80s, I have a Pontiac Firebird here, with nice racing tyres, number plate, engine in the front again, glossed out windows so we can't see inside again, nice golden rims to the tyres, big thick tyres as well, and nice boot space in the back. So let's give this a test on the road and see how fast it can go. Another nice handling car, very famous Pontiac car as well, nice big American car, but got some nice handling, so that's why I really chose it. Can go a little bit slower than the Lotus that we just tested earlier, but still very nice car. Probably a bit cheaper than the Lotus as well. As you can see there, just drifting a little bit there. And that is the Pontiac Firebird for the 1980s. On to the next decade, which you can guess will be the 1990s. And for the 90s, we have the Lotus Carlton. Just a very basic 90s car. Engine in front, boot space in the back, pretty nice tyres. No glossed out windows, so we can see inside the cockpit. Got a basic steering wheel and basic chairs. So just a basic car. It was developed by Lotus. Lotus didn't actually make the car, but they just developed it and gave it their name. So we'll give it a speed test. Quite hard to handle this car, but should be a decent car for speed, I reckon. Very quick acceleration, as you can see here. Nearly at 100 already, over 100 now. Could this car be the first to get to 150 maybe? Nearly losing it. 150. Can this car get up to 200? 200 miles an hour? No. Oh, we lost the tyre now. Yeah, as you can see, this car, pretty hard to handle, pretty hard to control. We lost a few tyres, so that brings us on to the noughties, 2000s. Now this is just a nice normal car from the 2000s, the Corvette. As you can see inside, a nice steering wheel, nice white chairs, nice white steering wheel, nice blue paint on the outside. Pretty cheap car, pretty basic tyres. Inside, a little bit of trunk space, but not too much, which was a bit of the problem. But nice, reliable car. Let's give it a spin. So not a fast acceleration, but a nice cheap car from the 2000s. And we'll be able to test it on this highway. So down we go. We're at 80 miles an hour already. This car's not from a mod, it's in the game already. I won't link any of the mods because I can't be bothered, but you can check them out if you have the game already. So it can get up to about 95 miles an hour. This Corvette. And that brings us on to the 2010s. Now for the 2010s, we have a pretty nice BMW here. Nice slick car, nice tyres, nice engine in the front, nice brake lights. Not just a nice car. You can see those like gaming-like seats in there with a nice steering wheel as well. So yeah, just a nice Beamer. Let's put it to the test. Very good acceleration, as you can see there. Very fast. Could be the first car, if the handling stays in, we can get up to 200 miles an hour. But let's push it. Could we get it over 150? Yes, we can. 160 maybe. Might be a push. We get it to 160 and the handling snaps. But 150, 160. Could we get it a bit higher or down the straight? Maybe. Maybe we can get it a bit higher if we can keep it out the walls. 170. But that's as high as we can get it to go. 170 in this car. Very good speed test. Fastest car so far. but I've not seen the one from the 2020s. So I'm about to show you that one now.